Tampa Bay Bucks 29, New York Jets 27. Man, what a wild one. I thought the Aaron Glenn dance was going to become the new meme. Him dancing down the sideline on the blocked kick.
That was not a good. That wasn't a good one for the stereotypes. I mean, that was like if Aaron Glenn had been a goofy-looking white man, that would have been a perfect dance for a celebration. It's not. You don't expect to see somebody like him.
I like
that.
Seeing.
He's a stereotype breaker. You know,
genuine enthusiasm.
We don't all have great rhythm and dance ability. Look,
he was very excited. I love genuine enthusiasm. Jets had a really nice first drive. They go up 3-0, 11 plays, 51 yards. At some point, look, the Bucs are a better team. They get up 10-6, then 20-6, 23-6. Like they're the better team, right? The Jets have not looked great the first 2 weeks. The offense had a nice week 1, but they've got their backup quarterback. You're expecting the Bucs as a 2-0 team to maybe run away with this. We'll talk about them in a minute. But Tyrod
Baker. I love Baker midweek correcting people. He's wrong. Like, Tyrod does not correct people, but I'm going to do it. He was on his behalf.
I still believe it was a big joke, and he's still Tyrod. 23-13 to get back into it, and then it's 26-20 with 3:46 left. The Bucs drive down, so they're up 6. They drive down. They attempt a 43-yard field goal with 2 minutes left in the game.
And what happens on that 43-yard field goal?
The implications here being is the Bucs with a 6-point lead, right? Where they gave the Jets a little bit of hope. They gave a little bit of life to get within 6, right? And this field goal is going to make it 9 with under 2 minutes left, and it's pretty much over. Except Will McDonald blocks it. It gets recovered by Will McDonald in return for a 50-yard touchdown, leading to the Aaron Glenn dance down the sideline. Jets are up 27-26 to take the lead here. Their first lead. But then, of course, what the Bucs do. Their third straight win.
Money Mayfield.
Game-winning field goal. Chase McLaughlin, 36-yard field goal to get the win 29-27. So the Bucs, they get the win, they escape. It could have been disastrous, but the Bucs have their third straight win in which the game-winning play came in under a minute left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 3 straight, 2-minute game-winning drives for Baker Mayfield. We said before he's become money in those game-defining situations, whether it's just before the half or late in the game. Baker Mayfield has become that dude, and he's executing those drives when he needs to. It's weird because I think Bucs were a better team generally, and they should win this game, but they are now getting really, really banged up. And because they're so injured, they are kind of riding their luck with these games. It's amazing how fast the sort of support system has fallen apart for them. Like, they went from, this is one of the best offensive lines in the NFL and maybe the deepest receiving room in the NFL, albeit, with Chris Godwin working his way back from injury, et cetera. Like, on paper, heading into the season, those two things both look spectacular. Now, it's like the receiving core is suddenly 2 rookies and Baker's college roommate, and the offensive line is Graham Barton playing at tackle, who's a center in the NFL.
Their year 2 center.
Playing left tackle. Elijah Klein, Luke Haggard, Charlie Heck, who they shuffled the entire offensive line around to avoid putting into the starting lineup, and then had to do it anyway when another player got hurt, and Ben Breederson. Like, the offensive line is now a major, major problem for them. Baker's under pressure a lot throughout the course of the game, and the receiving core is being kind of propped up by the fact that Emeka Egbuka looks fantastic and made a bunch of ridiculous catches in this game. It's great that they're 3-0 and that Baker's found a way of getting it done late in these games. They need to get healthy, though, because this is an unsustainable level of play given the problems.
Tristan Wirfs should be back next week against the Eagles.
Which helps multiple positions.
Yes.
Wirfs comes in, Barton can go back to center. Like, that's 2 spots
that should help.
That are better.
Mike Evans left injured in
hamstring.
this game. Does he have a hamstring? I forget what he missed time with last year, but he missed a few games. But he's dealt with the hamstring a lot.
Somebody,
throughout his career.
I think, had totted them up throughout his career. It's 7 or 8, I think, at this point.
It's a lot. Emeka Egbuka is so good, by the way. The other thing I thought Baker made some huge throws in this game. The turnover luck still. He had another fumble that the Bucs recovered. So my mental tally, 4 passes in week 1 that should have been intercepted or could have been. Another one in week 2, 2 fumbles. That's like 7. I don't know if they're official turnover-worthy plays, but by my count from Baker Mayfield, and they have 0 turnovers this year, the Bucs. So that's just one thing in their favor. I know we have some sensitive Bucs fans in the comments, but we've said now you said MVP for Baker Mayfield. So just there you go. 3 straight weeks. It is a narrative award. It is a completely different Baker Mayfield than early in his career. Yeah. He was not a great. That scared me. I thought that was donuts.
Somebody cleaning our door?
He's cleaning our window to our door. It's good. Appreciate it. I could see people more clearly out there.
Yeah.
To get even more distracted.
Right.
Back to Baker. Stay focused, Baker Mayfield. I thought somebody was breaking in. Hey guys, real quick. Only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action. Mayfield, when the game is on the line, not only can he make the throws down the field, and Ibuka almost had that one-handed bobble catch.
That was a catch.
Ibuka had 6 for 85, but he had that one-handed, slightly bobbled catch that you thought was
it was a catch.
So close.
He got both feet down.
It was very close
with possession. It should have been a catch.
Mayfield's scrambling ability, like the game last week, where the Texans sent the house and he snuck out of there for a key first down on 4th down to scramble. He had a 33-yarder in this one. I think that was the one that set up did that set up the game winner? I can't remember exactly. But anyway, set up one of the field goal attempts, either the game winner or the one that was blocked. Either way, Baker's scrambling ability in this world where he's working with a makeshift offensive line, that has been outstanding. And so don't diminish the fact that he's thrown to 2 rookies and his college roommate. Like one of them's Emeka Ibuka, their first-round wide receiver, who's really good. But yeah, Sterling Shepard, always finding a way to get open and make some big plays. I've been really impressed with Baker. Yes, there's been some luck from a turnover perspective, but just so impressed with how when the game is on the line, even when your team just blew it, right? You just blew it with not just a blocked field goal that would have put the game out of reach, but for a touchdown to give the Jets the lead, and you still come back with the game-winning drive.
Look, I really liked Sterling Shepard coming into the NFL, but I'm reasonably convinced at this point that if he was not Baker's college roommate, he would no longer be in the NFL. Baker is keeping him in there employed, and it's working. I mean, he's making some plays, but I honestly think Baker's surviving him in the league at this point. This was another game that had one of those kind of late, not quite into the flat, but like late heave with a ton of air under it to the sideline for Tyrod Taylor. Jamel Dean jumps it down the sideline, houses it, puts up points. I mean, that's a huge play in the course of this game, as it turns out, given how it ended. But, yeah, look, I think generally Tampa Bay, they're another team, there's a few of them this year, where they've had amazing results, 3-0, but the underlying kind of performance or overall, like they're riding their luck to be 3-0, and that might be fine as long as they get healthy and that offensive line improves and they can get some guys back at receiver, but they need to get healthy because at the moment, there's a few players that are sort of propping this up.
Tough stretch here for the Bucs. I mean, they make it to 3-0. Impressive job. And look, I said beginning of the season, I feel like they've got the depth, and before all the injuries hit, they have the depth to be up there with the best teams in the NFC. So they'll get tested. Eagles this week, Seahawks, then the 49ers, who are also 3-0 for whatever that's worth, and then the Lions in Detroit. So you do have a tough stretch here for Tampa Bay to test things out a little bit. But yeah, being 3-0 and surviving and having 3 straight wins, that always goes both ways, right? The teams that have relied upon that, the 2020, was it the 22 Viking? Which Vikings team? It was 11-0. 22? 11-0 in one-score games.
Yeah.
Last year's Chiefs, undefeated in one-score games. The Bucs now, 3 straight late wins in one-score games. It goes both ways. Like, you want to win those games. You want to survive them, but sometimes it doesn't bode well for the future, and you never know when the future is going to hit. For the Chiefs, it didn't hit till the Super Bowl. The Vikings, it hit in the playoffs. The Bucs, look, they're 3-0. They're doing and finding ways to win. And from a Jets perspective, still looking for that first win for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, a bit disappointed by the Jets' sort of inability to pick up Tampa Bay's blitz. Going up against Todd Bowles and the Bucs, they're going to be sending the blitz a lot, and they were repeatedly surprised, particularly by safety or nickel blitzes, just the one overload guy coming, they seem to be shocked by that every time it happened, that was a significant part. I mean, the production that Tyrod Taylor had against the blitz was pretty rough. Almost everything was just a sort of panicked heave in the general direction of Garrett Wilson. And that was a big part of, like, Todd Bowles' blitz got home in this game and caused problems.
Yeah, we got caught up in Justin Fields is probably going to run the ball a lot this year for the Jets, and we didn't – I've said this before, like if any other pass-heavy quarterback, Fields doesn't throw the ball as much as others, any other pass-heavy quarterback had just Garrett Wilson as your number one receiver and question marks beyond that, you'd be saying, hey, the Jets haven't done enough.
Yeah.
And you see that in their pass game at times. An impressive comeback, but the Jamel Dean pick six that you mentioned was huge. Absolutely huge. That made it 20-6. That was what made it feel like the Bucs were running away with it. The Jets did a pretty nice job bottling up Bucky Irving. That gave them a chance to get back into it. But look, Bucs are just a better team overall. The right team won this game.
Yeah.
And they were able to survive the blocked kick touchdown to get the win. Anything else?
Nope. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?